down with me? You down with me, down with me. I got a crowd wrapping round the whole town for me. They mama proud, got 1,000 in the balcony. Nah, I don't hear no clown talking foul on me.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of What Are Odds Podcast. I'm your host, JMX, with my co-host, Ryan. Look, man, it's been a minute, but here we are. Before we get into all these games, because we got a lot to get into, Ryan, man, how you been? What's going on? How you doing?
Man, I'm chilling. Can't complain. Steelers won. Lakers play tomorrow. NBA starts. Yeah, can't complain. I just been chilling. How about yourself? How's school going?
Hell, man, I had an exam today. I got another crazy assignment for Wednesday, and then got an exam next week too that I got to study for. So it's no breaks, man. I want to put out content as much as I can, but school kicking my ass. But yeah, man, we got a lot to get into. I'm gonna start it off. We didn't do an episode talking about the Thursday game, so I'm gonna start there. I know it's been a while, but it's always good to talk about Bronco football, baby. You know what I'm saying? 4-3. Broncos go to 4-3. Saints dropped to 2-5. Saints lost 5 straight. Yeah, man, the Broncos pretty much handled business. I was a little shocked how well we handled the business, but I mean, hey, man, Broncos win this game 33-10. Shout out to the Broncos defense, was pretty much the story of this game. Sacked Spencer Rattler 6 times. Scored what I think he had just one touchdown. I could be wrong on that, but regardless, the point of it is the Broncos they destroyed the Saints. Um, it was an all-out demolition. Like I said, 6 sacks. Shout out everyone on the Broncos defense. They handled their business. The offense looked okay. Javonte had 14 carries, 88 yards, 2 tubs. Bo, I thought, had a pretty solid game. He he had 2 questionable throws, but I think outside of that, he played a really good game. But it just goes to show one thing for the offense: we need more receivers. Cortland Sutton was held to didn't even get a did he get a target? No, he didn't even get a target. No targets, no catches for Cortland Sutton. He was in absolute jail. Um, yeah, 49ers go ahead, just need to take him from us. We'll 3rd round pick. But yeah, I mean, Broncos took care of business. The Saints look like their season is pretty much finished. But go ahead, Ryan. Just find a way to hate on us real quick, man.
Man, I'm not gonna hate on you guys. I thought it was very impressive the way you guys played. Now that you're talking about it, I'm starting to remember a little bit more what happened, especially with Javonte getting 2 touchdowns. The defense had 2 touchdowns themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Especially without PS2, definitely impressive. Granted, everybody on the Saints that you can really think of besides Alvin Kamara was hurt. On the offensive side, I should say. But yeah, I know I've seen a little bit from your pod, the Broncos pod, talking about you guys want to get Alvin Kamara. How do you think that would work?
Oh well, yeah, man. Shout out to me for that great take I had. I think it could work. I think, Javante, he's a really good back, but I think we need a playmaker on offense, really, in the receiving game and in the run game. I don't think it would cost too much to get to Kamara. The only downside is he's owed $25 million next year. So if we do get him, we're gonna have to find a way to probably stretch that out a little bit, because I doubt the Broncos are gonna pay him $25 million for one singular, not just for this, like for the 2025 season. We're gonna probably have to find a way to stretch that out or restructure that some way. But you can get Alvin Kamara right now for probably a 5th-round pick, because the Saints, their season is pretty much over. But I would love it, man. I would love to see the way Sean Payton calls his offense. He needs a guy like that. And yeah, we need anything we can get at this point. I mean, be completely honest with you. Our best receiver is Troy Franklin. Our second best wide receiver is Devon Vele. Both are rookies. One was drafted in the 4th round. One was drafted in the 7th. So we need all we can get right now from a talent perspective. But I wouldn't mind Kamara at all, man. I mean, he's not really doing too much over there right now. And like I said, it's kind of a low risk, high reward type thing, because if he doesn't pan out this year, we don't like what we see, we can always just let him go in the offseason.
Yeah, I think just from looking at the stats, I do remember Bo extended some plays and extended some drives with his legs.
Yeah,
I
75 yards on the ground.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was the first couple plays. I was sitting watching part of the game in the sauna, and these guys that were sitting right next to me, and they were like, I think they had the under on Bo's rushing yards or something for like some bet, and within like I think it was the first like drive, he already had like a couple rushes. I obviously don't know exactly how many yards it was, but it like damn near hit the over right then and there. And I remember they were pissed, but and then that one nice long run. I don't remember what quarter it was, but he like kind of rolled out to the left, and
Yeah, 30 was like 32-yard pickup. I remember.
yeah, it was a nice run. But speaking of running the ball, I don't think I heard you give Javante a little bit of love. I know, damn near
I,
every podcast we've talked about, you said this man trash. But he was probably you guys' best player on offense. 14 carries, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns, average 6.3 yards a carry.
man,
I'm interested to hear what
I'm
you have to say about him.
congratulations for Javante. I thought he had a good game. Um, I still want another back in that room, man. I just do. I'm sorry. I think next week he's gonna have a really good game too. I think we play Carolina next week. I think he's gonna have another good game, and he's just gonna the belief is gonna start to grow. But in reality, we aren't really playing anyone. So, um, I don't know, man. I give him his props. He played a good game, but I'll still take Alvin Kamara any day of the week. The fact that he had his best game he's had probably as a Bronco, and Bo Nix was literally 13 yards. Was he only had 13 more yards than Bo? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just not a big. I don't know. I'm still have a lot of question marks on this offense. I'm fine with Bo. I think Bo's playing well as he can as a rookie, but I just don't like none of the playmakers we have. But yeah, that's as much love as Javante is gonna get from me. But moving on to the next moving on to the next game, I want to talk about the Jaguars and the Patriots faced off in London. Um, Patriots dropped to 1-6. Jacksonville got to 2-5. They beat the Patriots 32-16. They really won this game in the second quarter. Jacksonville outscored the Patriots 22-3 in the second quarter. My main takeaways from this one, I'm gonna just keep it short. I thought Drake May played really well. What I kind of expected him to be against this bad Jacksonville secondary. I mean, it's hard to win as a your second game like it is. But the Jaguars, they took care of business. Trevor Lawrence, I thought played okay, nothing too crazy. I thought he played okay. Tank Bigsby is looking like Travis Etienne. I don't think he's coming back. I think he's done at the deadline with this team. But I thought Brian Thomas played really well. Like I said, Tank Bigsby. The Jaguars defense, I thought did an okay job. I still didn't really like too much of what I saw, but the Patriots just couldn't find ways to get in the end zone enough times. But yeah, I mean, the Jaguars took care of business. I still think both teams are really bad. This move didn't move the needle at all for me for Jacksonville. They got Green Bay, Philly, the Vikings, Lions, Texans, their next 5 games. So we're gonna see what Jacksonville is made of, but this is looking like 2-10 is gonna be the outcome.
Yeah, I tried to pay attention to the game. I was not waking up that early to watch this game. I'm not gonna lie
Yeah,
to you. When I got on the game, when I started watching, it was 22-10, and I'm like, yeah, this game is wraps. But one thing when I started watching towards the end of it, the Jaguars had, I believe it was 17 straight rushing plays or whatever, and they completely ran the ball down the Patriots' throat. They did anything and everything they really wanted to, from 3rd and 8 at Jacksonville's 37 with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. They ran the ball, and then they gave the ball back to the Patriots. The Patriots got a touchdown. And then the next passing play they attempted was, if I have it correct, was 4 minutes and 9 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It was 3rd and 7, and it was an incomplete pass. They completely ran the ball down their throat. Again, I know it was for sure 17 because I remember they were talking about it on air. But yeah, kind of more going towards the Patriots side. Like we both kind of said in the previous episode, we kind of expected Hunter Henry to kind of have a big game, kind of like Cole Kmet did last week against the Jaguars. But I mean, yeah, I really don't think the Jaguars like played great. They didn't play like amazing ball, but they just didn't lose the game. And it seems like a lot of games this year, they've just kind of lost the game for themselves. Obviously, that sounds stupid.
Yeah,
But
nah.
you know what I'm trying to say, like especially like
Yeah,
that first week against Miami just really sticks in my head, where they just completely threw the game away. And but yeah, I mean, hey, they won, and yeah, they're 2-5. I mean, they're not gonna do anything
their next
crazy.
five
But
games might be all losses.
who do they
It's
play?
brutal. Let me go back to it. They play. Yeah, they have the Packers, Eagles, Vikings, Lions, Texans. So yeah, Doug Peterson is definitely getting fired probably within those next 5 games. But yeah, we're gonna just keep it with the games we're gonna talk about briefly. The next game is the Dolphins went to Indianapolis, take on the Colts. Colts go to 4-3. Dolphins drop to 2-4. They beat the Dolphins 16-10, and which was just an outright atrocious game on every aspect. Um, my main takeaways was the Dolphins. They better be thinking everything that Tua is coming back, because I'll be completely honest, what they're doing for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle should be a crime. The fact that they didn't go out at all and get a quarterback, like, is disrespectful. I'm sorry. Tyler Huntley, like, it's no disrespect to Tyler Huntley. I'm not saying Tyler Huntley is bad, but like in the act, like what did they think Tyler Huntley and Tim Boyle were gonna do? Like did they really think that they were gonna what? Like move the ball? Like, it's no reason why Tyreek Hill, I should be benching him in fantasy. No matter of fact, I started him and Tank Dell this week. They gave me a combined 2.3 points. I
Mm-hmm.
started them in 2 of my leagues.
Tank got
An
0.
absolute Tank got a goose egg, but I mean Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle is just absolutely ridiculous what's going on. For the Colts side of it, man, I don't know what to say about Anthony Richardson. I don't know what to say. The Dolphins defense, we did say, was good, but I mean, bro, like, this is a whole different offense. Like, you could just tell, like Tennessee defense wasn't bad, and we saw what the Colts were able to somewhat muster against them with Flacco. I mean, they were able to put up 20 points. They put up 16. I mean, Flacco played the game against Jacksonville. I mean, he put up 34. I mean, it's Jacksonville, but still, like, Josh Downs finished his game with 1 catch for 3 yards. I mean, they couldn't run the ball really well. But Anthony Richardson going 10 for 24 with 129. It's just, I don't know if Shane Steichen can do this for the rest of the season. Yeah, I mean, you look at the Colts' next 5 games. I just don't know how much Shane Steichen is going to be able to take Anthony Richardson. I mean, completing 10 for 24. I mean, they got the Texans, Vikings, Bills, Jets, Lions in the next 5 games. Those could be 5 losses. I don't think they're going to be 5 losses. I think they're going to find a way to maybe beat the Jets and maybe beat the Texans. But I mean, at what point do we sit here and say, like, it's not starting Joe Flacco holding his team back a little bit? Because I'm not saying Anthony Richardson is bad, but it's like, is he ready? Like, his numbers they're just not good. Like, they're not good. Like even when they beat the Bears, he was 10 for 20. Like, he's barely complete. He's not even completing 20 passes. And I know that's like not. I mean, but like, bro, you. I mean, what? I don't know, man. It's just me. Like, even the good game he had against Houston, he was 9 for 19. Like, that's crazy. Like, you're not gonna win too many games. I'm surprised they're where they are right now with their record. Like, shout out to Steichen. They're 4-3. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I think at some point they're gonna go back to Flacco.
Yeah, no man, I agree with you. It's almost like we've reading each other's minds about the schedule. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a tough couple like you said, like 5 weeks for him. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a big test. I hope Jonathan Taylor comes back, and I don't know. Do you know how long DeForest Buckner's out for? Because that's gonna be a big. Let me look. Colts
Let me
injury
see.
report. Oh no, he's on IR.
Well, okay, they
Returning to
said
practice
he's
ahead of
coming.
week 8.
Yeah, yeah, he's coming back.
Okay. I mean, that should definitely help them, especially
Yeah,
on
it'll
defense.
help.
Especially, yeah. But like, I just can't see them winning. They might get maybe a game out of these next 5, but it's gonna be a stretch. It really depends on who you start. And again, I really like Anthony Richardson. You can see some of the flashes from him, but then you can also see why. It's like I think McAfee was talking about he's only played like 20 games since high school or something, because he barely played in college and he got hurt his rookie season. It's like
I mean,
it's something
yeah,
crazy. It's,
like,
it's like he just doesn't have to experience it, and it's like it would be nice just for him to sit behind Flacco and just kind of watch. But it wasn't the
learn.
yeah, it wasn't the plan they had going into the season. So I kind of wonder if they're just going to be kind of closed-minded to it. And it's like, no, like he's the guy, Flacco's the backup, and we're going to go with it. But
I mean, look, all I know is he doesn't even have 1,000 yards passing. He's 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions with a 42 QBR. That ranks 27th amongst quarterbacks. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, it's at a certain point you're like, we got to sit him down. Like, and it's not even just the fact, like he's not the guy moving forward, but it's like he's got to learn something because some ain't working. You're not gonna win with this recipe. I'm sorry. They we even said going into this game, Miami might steal this one because Anthony Richardson. We didn't feel. I mean, me and you've kind of been on the same page about this for weeks, like about Anthony Richardson. Like the offense just does not look good, and the expectation was really up there, but it's just like as a passer, man, he's got a long way to go as a passer.
I saw somebody say he the Cam Newton of Daniel Jones. It was something like that. It's like he's the best version of Daniel Jones that you'll get, and it's like that's crazy. Like I do like, you can 100% see the potential of it. He's just not.
I
He's
think
just not
Daniel
it yet.
Jones is I think Daniel Jones is better right now. I know that may sound crazy, but Anthony Richardson he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Like he if you pay attention, it's bad. I'm not saying it's his fault. I mean, it just is not looking too good for the Colts. But yeah, but going on to the next game, just talk about this one real quick. Yeah, the Bills destroyed the Titans 34-10. Buffalo goes to 5-2. Titans drop to 1-5. I think Will Levis has heard Ron's boy. But yeah, I mean, this team is Tennessee's done. Buffalo goes to 5-2 though. Amari Cooper in his debut had a really good game. Keon Coleman went off in his game. But yeah, I mean, Bills took care of business. They go to 5-2.
For a little bit in the game, I thought Tennessee might actually steal a game from them. It was 10-7 going into halftime, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, damn, like they might actually do something. Especially I was watching Mason Rudolph sling the ball, and I'm like, bro, Mason Rudolph beats them in Tennessee, but couldn't beat them with us last year in the playoffs. Bro, I was about to be hot, but whatever. I mean, yeah, Josh Allen kind of came alive in that second half, and the whole offense really didn't. Like you said, Coop kind of got going a little bit, and yeah, they played well. They played a nice second half. The first half was kind of iffy, kind of shaky, but they put up 27 in the second half and held them to 0 points. So they played a good second half.
Yeah. Going on to the next game, the Eagles travel to New York to take on the Giants. Saquon's homecoming. And he handled business. My main takeaway from this, Saquon went off. The Eagles really just took care of business offensively. Jalen Hurts, 10 for 14, 114, one touchdown. He didn't really have to do much. The game wasn't everybody knew the Giants didn't have a chance in this one. Daniel Jones got beat up, sacked 7 times. This offensive line for the Giants, man, is absolutely atrocious. But yeah, Saquon had 17 carries, a buck 76 in the touchdown. AJ Brown had 90 yards, touchdown. Yeah, I mean, they simple. The Eagles just took care of business of a bad team. I thought it was gonna be closer. But Philly's defense was able to take care of business. Just the Giants' offensive line is bad, man. And every time Daniel Jones got benched, I mean, the game was over.
Yeah, I mean, for a little bit going into the game, I think it was the first, like up until the second quarter, it's like midway through the second quarter. When did they score their first point? It was they scored a touchdown with 8 minutes, and then they scored 2 touchdowns. Okay. Yeah, I mean, even in the second quarter, I was kind of still thinking like, damn, I think they had 5 or 6 sacks. Like the Giants had 5 or 6 sacks, like the whole game.
Yeah.
I mean, that offense is just completely atrocious. I also saw something on Twitter. I don't know how true it is, but Brandon Graham was guarding Malik Neighbors in the slot or something. Again, I didn't watch the game.
Nah, I don't know.
Man, I saw something where he was lined up over top of Malik in the
That's
slot,
crazy. If that's true, that's insane.
and it's like there's no way he was guarding him man on man. There was no way. But yeah, I mean, also shout out Kenny Pickett. He came in towards the end of the game as well. Got to give him a little shout out. So yeah,
Talking about shout out
Saquon
Kenny
had
Pickett.
his day. AJ Brown has had his day as well. Um, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, going on to the next game, the Panthers travel to Washington to take on the Commanders. The Commanders go to 5-2. Panthers drop to 1-6. This was an absolute slaughter from the jump, from the get go. They made Marcus Mariota look like he was the rookie coming in from Oregon. 18 for 23, 205, 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson had a really solid day. Terry McLaurin had an 100-yard day, almost 98. But my main takeaway from this one is just Carolina has one of the worst rosters I've seen of a professional football team in a long time. I mean, like this defense, I don't even have words to describe how bad it is from a talent aspect. Like, look, I know their coordinator is Gio Evero. He was in Denver. We had a top three defense with Evero. He did well the first year in Carolina, but they let everyone go. Brian Burns, Frankie Louvu, Jeremy Chin. They have no talent outside of JC. I mean, I'm looking at the guys that popping up in the stat sheet, and it's just an absolute atrocity. This defense is terrible. Andy Dalton was terrible. And then they put in Bryce Young, and he goes 2 for 2 for -4 yards. And it's just like, bro, like Jatavion's. I mean, it's bad, man. Like Carolina is, and we've. I mean, they got the worst ownership in the league. It's bad by all means necessary. Like this roster, from like I said, from a time perspective, it's one of the worst I've ever seen. Like it's atrocious.
I've been trying to tell you that defense is like a college defense. Like they're
Yeah,
besides JC Horn, they are not.
I think Georgia got a better defense. I think Georgia wouldn't be this bad. I'm being I think Georgia would not be this bad if they were playing in the NFL against this NFL competition. It's just no way. Like we're talking about Charles Smith Wade literally like being your corner two, like, or your slot corner, like this is like their safeties were Nick Scott. I mean, it's bad, bro. Nick Scott and Xavier Woods. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm looking at the pass rush. Marquise Haynes, DJ Johnson, Shy Tuttle, Thomas Incoom. The Broncos let go Thomas Incoom off the practice squad. Raheem Blackshare, Charles Harris. This is what we're rolling out here with. And I'm sorry, I say Raheem Blackshear. I didn't mean to say Raheem Blackshear. I meant somebody else. Lonnie Johnson. But come on, man. Like, I mean, what are we doing? Like, the Panthers need to be ashamed of themselves. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a damn shame, is all I'm gonna say. I mean, you 40 to Marcus Mariota? 40. 40. There was no drop off. Jaden came in, I think he scored 10, and he got hurt.
Something like that.
I mean, like Carolina, man, Lord Jesus. I have nothing else to say. You got something else to say?
Yeah, I mean, only thing about the Commanders, and it's not really about this game in specific. I mean, they took care of business and handled what they needed to handle. Um, I'm kind of excited to see next week, especially if Jaden plays. They got the Bears, Jaden versus Caleb in Washington. That'll be a great game, but that's more foreshadowing for what's gonna be probably for the next episode.
Yeah, going on to the next game, the Raiders they travel to LA, take on the Rams. Rams go to 2-4, Raiders fall to 2-5. The Rams took care of business 20-15 at home. I got one really main takeaway from this game. I'm gonna talk about the Raiders. Well, I'll talk about the Rams. I think the Rams, Stafford doing his best right now. Don't really have anybody at all from the receiver standpoint to really throw the ball to and move the sticks. But they found a way to hold on to this game. Raiders almost came back, but I said before the season that the Raiders were going to trade Devontae. They were going to roll out here with this shit ass roster and just put all the blame on Antonio Pierce just to fire him. That's why they hired him back. They hired him back to be the scapegoat. Yeah, I mean, look, all I know is before the season they said we had the worst quarterback competition, even worse than the Raiders. And I'm looking at Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Gardner was 15 for 34, a buck 54, 3 picks, 12 QBR, 21 quarterback rating. Not to mention Aiden O'Connell was benching his game, but I mean the Raiders, they're gonna fire Antonio Pierce. They're gonna scapegoat him, but this roster is absolutely atrocious. But shout out to the Rams, man. They found a way to get the dub with absolutely nothing but advantage.
I don't know why. I still feel like this team is like I still feel like they can be a competitive team and maybe even sneak into the playoffs. I don't know why. I just got that feeling. Their schedule is not favorable. They got the Vikings, they got the Eagles, they got the Bills, the 49ers, the Jets, the Seahawks again. I just, especially if they get Cup and Puka back, I just, I don't know. Like I just have a feeling that this team can kind of sneak into the playoffs, kind of like they did last year with against the Lions. Like you can kind of see even without Puka, cause he got hurt during the game. It's like you could still kind of see what they really could be, even though they lost. But like I mean, I thought they played all right, especially Stafford that game. He had a pretty solid game. I just have a feeling, especially with I just trust McVay and I trust Stafford and hopefully Puka and Cooper Cup can come back. But I don't know. Again, I have no evidence to this. The schedule is not in their favor. They have not been playing amazingly great playoff football, but they weren't last year either, and they still snuck into the playoffs towards the end. So, yeah, and the Raiders are just kind of the Raiders at this point. Like, I don't think they're going to trade Crosby. I know I've seen a lot of people, I'm sure just like you have, about them trading Crosby maybe to like the Lions or a different team. I just can't see them trading the face of their franchise. I mean, I guess they just did with Devontae, but Crosby's definitely the face of that franchise. But yeah,
Man, and Raider fans be talking so much stuff about us, Lord Jesus. But going on to the next game, we're gonna get into the good games now. The Texans travel to Green Bay to take on the Texans. Green Bay goes to 5-2. Texans drop to 5-2. Green Bay handle business 24-22. All I gotta say about this one, man, my main takeaways is one, Stephon Diggs, the second time you done walked in, you went up to Jair Alexander before the game and he done shut you down, bro. Like it's almost like, bro, you reap what you sow. CJ Stroud was horrible. 10 for 21, 86 yards. Um, yeah, I mean the main takeaway from this game, honestly, was the Green Bay defense just had them strapped. I mean, Joe Mixon had a really solid day, but I mean, they got boxed. Tank Dell, no catches. Stephon Diggs, 5 catches for 23 yards. The leading receiver was Dalton Schultz for 28 yards. I mean, Jordan Love and him, they took care of business on offense. He threw 2 picks, but I liked what I saw from Dalbs, and Jay Jacobs had a pretty solid game as well. But the story of this game was just Green Bay defense, man. They absolutely boxed the Texans. And with all that being said, the Texans still scored 22 points. I know one of them was off a pick six, but offensively, they still scored 2 touchdowns. They were able to get in the end zone twice, but I mean, they boxed them up man to man, and they said beat us. And Tank Dell and Diggs, it was nothing they could do. Nothing they could do.
yeah, the Packers definitely got everybody involved, damn near on offense.
Mhm.
Josh Jacobs had a touchdown. Tucker Kraft had a touchdown. Wicks had a touchdown. Romeo Dobbs had almost had 100 yards. Uh, Josh Jacobs had 75 yards rushing as well. This is kind of, in my opinion, the Packers that you can kind of see that you could see last year towards the end of the season when they were kind of making that little bit of a playoff push. The defense is significantly better. I really think Xavier McKinney's kind of been that complete piece to that defense. Last year they really needed a safety. You could definitely tell in that 49ers playoff game that a safety was like on the top of their needs, and I think that's why they immediately went out and gave Xavier McKinney like a pretty fat bag. Um, yeah, the Texans, you can tell they miss Nico a lot. Like you can tell they miss him a lot.
Yeah.
But besides that, Mixon had a really good game, especially coming off an injury. He had what, 2 touchdowns, 115 yards on 25 carries. Uh, yeah, I mean, again, we were talking about, and I get it, it's just one game, and we're comparing one game to one game. Didn't Anthony Richardson also go 10 for 21 for like 80 yards? So it's like he had
Yeah,
this.
CJ.
He had a similar game.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, CJ, they missed Nico bad. I didn't think he was gonna be this missed. I mean, their offense looks like they can't even pass the ball. And like they have weapons, but yeah, I mean, shout out to Green Bay, man. They was able to buckle down and I think they got in their heads too, man. Like you can't go out there and do that before the game and then just be nothing, like absolute no show. But going on to the next game,
hold, hold, hold,
see
hold, hold.
Go ahead.
Real quick, it really makes you wonder what. Even though Diggs only had 5 catches for 23 yards, it really makes you wonder like what this team would have looked like without Diggs. You know, it's I'm not saying he was a game breaker at all in this specific game, but it's like Nico goes down and your top targets Dalton Schultz and Tank Dell, and it's like those are solid targets, but like they both combined for well, Tank didn't he didn't have anything, so they both combined for 1 catch and 28 yards. If you would just consider Schultz and Tank, it's like that is not good enough for this offense to get going. This is one of the elite offenses last year, and this game they just did
Yeah,
not
nah, they
show it.
just yeah, they've been struggling in the passing game for sure, for sure. But going on to the next game, the Seahawks travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons dropped to 4-3. Seahawks go to 4-3. They beat them by 20, 34-13. My main takeaway in this one really was I was really disappointed in Atlanta. I thought they were going to be able to muster away this win. They were at home. I thought it would have been a closer game, but Seattle just DK Metcalf took this game over from the jump. Gino was making some unreal throws. Like I don't know where the hell that's where that came from, but Gino was insane. Shout out to him. Kenneth Walker had a pretty solid day as well. But it was really just honestly that Seahawks defense. They really just consumed the Falcons. Kirk got sacked 3 times. He threw 2 picks. They couldn't really move the ball. I mean, they were moving the ball well. They just couldn't score. Like, yeah, Kirk had the 2 picks and then the fumble. But yeah, man, shout out to Seahawks. This is what I expected them to be defensively. And it just hasn't kind of worked out, but this game it did. And hey, man, they found themselves winning by 20.
Yeah, the Seahawks played great. Gino, like you said, he had a great game. Kenneth Walker, he had 2 touchdowns. That one receiving touchdown he had, it was crazy. Like the way that he was able to and it looks so easy, but like the way that he was able to contort his body and still hold on to it as a running back, and he's not really known as like a great like downfield receiver. It's like that was like a 20-yard, 30-yard catch or something. So shout out to him for that. And kind of like you said, DK had a great day. I know you saw that one play where he was blocking Terrell. I think it was on Walker's rushing touchdown, and he was just. It's like, bro, like you really just sunned that man, and he just stood there
Like,
and
bro, with one
like
hand is nuts.
no disrespect to Terrell. I mean, like he's one of the top corners. Not obviously not the top, but he's top 10 corner if you want to consider him whatever
Yeah.
in football. But DK he just played better, and yeah, shout out to the Seahawks and that defense. Like you were saying, shout out to that defense too.
Yeah, going on to the next game, which I got a lot to say about this one. The Bengals beat the Browns 21-14 in Cleveland. Joe Burrow, I think, gets his first win in Cleveland. The Bengals go to 3-4. The Browns drop to 1-6. Lot to take away. I'll go with the Bengals real quick. Not too much to take away from their side of it. I thought Joe Burrow played solid enough to get the win, 15 for 25, 2 touchdowns. The main question mark with Cincinnati is the run game. They really need to go get some type of back. If they can be the ones to trade for Kamara, I think that will be really a huge get up for them because they are really struggling in the run game right now. But the topic of this game, why I didn't put this in a briefly one was because obviously the story of Deshaun Watson, Lord Jesus. Um, Non-contact towards Achilles. We all knew what it was when we saw the play. Um, Deshaun at that point is 15 for 17, sacked twice. Man, I don't know what else to say. The Browns, I mean, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Like everything that could have gone wrong during the Deshaun Watson era literally went wrong. I don't know if there's a franchise that has just been more sick. I mean, look, I've been in a predicament, man. I mean, we had Russ and like everything that went wrong. Honestly, not everything went wrong. Like there was some good. We ended up getting Sean. We damn near made the playoffs the last year we had Russ, but it's like 1-6. Like this is crazy. One of the best rosters in the league. You're 1-6. Talking about Dorian Thompson Robinson, I don't understand the potential that the Browns fans see. Like I mean, he had a glimpse last year, a small dosage, and like 11 for 24, 2 picks. They just need to play Jameis at this point. I mean, it's bad. Like I feel bad for Browns fans. Like, I mean, this is like I said, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Prayers for Deshaun. I know people were when I put a poll up saying Deshaun Watson's career over. And I said one of the options was sadly yes, and the other one was something like I hope not, whatever. And people were sliding up like, why the hell did you say sadly? He deserves this. Fuck him. Da da da. And I'm like, bro, it is like, come on, man. Like, he deserves this. And the Browns fans, the Brown faithful, dog pound, booing this man is nuts as he's on the cart. Like, sorry, it's not funny, man, but damn, like, imagine you just you literally tear your Achilles and it's like the fans aren't cheerful, you're okay. They're booing you off the field. Like, that's gotta be one of the worst ways to end your season, man.
Yeah, with the Browns, I mean, I can't lie. I'm happy Chubb is back. He had a nice little touchdown. I think they'll start ramping him up a little bit. I really do think Jameis is, out of these three quarterbacks, gives them the best chance to win of the three of them. Um, yeah, I mean, like I was talking to another Steelers fan, and we were both talking about it. We both agreed. Jameis strikes more fear in my heart than Deshaun or DTR, and it's like, I mean, he
Yeah,
doesn't strike a
DTR doesn't really move the goalpost
no,
for
no,
me.
no. Granted, he did beat us last year. Granted, he didn't beat us. The Browns defense definitely, dude, they smoked us last year when DTR was a quarterback. But besides the point, with the Bengals, I mean, they won the last 3 of their 4 games. I mean, let's be real. If you look at their schedule, they played the Patriots, who easily could have beaten, lost to the Chiefs by 1 point, lost to the Commanders by 5, beat the Panthers, barely lost to the Ravens, barely beat the Giants, and I can't lie. When the Browns scored that touchdown at the end of the game, I'm like, uh-oh. Like, if they get this onside kick, like, I remember last episode I was talking about, man, I can't lie. I was thinking about picking them. I can't lie. But,
Oh my god, no.
I mean,
I told you they was gonna lose.
dude, and it really wasn't a close game at all. Like, the score doesn't really tell the whole story. It was
Yeah.
21-14, but it was not a close game, like, at all. But, I mean, again, going more on the Bengals standpoint, uh, yeah, I mean, they've just sneakily won the last 3 of their 4, and let's be real, they could have and should have beaten the Ravens if they made that field goal in overtime. So they could easily right now be, what, 4-3? 4-4? Yeah, 4-3. And it's like,
Yeah.
they're a sneaky team as well. You know, I mean, yeah, especially with Burrow and Higgins and Chase. And I do agree with you. It would be nice to see the Bengals go get a legit running back. I do like Chase Brown, but like he's not like a legit.
Yeah, nah, he's not moving the needle.
No, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess like we were just talking about that the Browns offense just looked so bad, and you could also say that the Browns offense looks so bad and you still only won by 7. But then again, if we're being like literally like actually objective about it, it really wasn't a close
Yeah,
game
nah,
at
it
all.
wasn't close. Yeah, no, it wasn't close. Yeah, moving on to the game of the day, in my opinion. The Lions travel to Minnesota. Both teams go to 5-1. Vikings lose their first game of the year. Lions win this one 31-29. I'll talk about the Lions real quick. Um, I thought Jared Goff played out of his mind. 22 for 25, 280, 2 tubs, 140 quarterback rating. Jameer Gibbs ran the ball really well. Monty almost sold them this game with that fumble. Amon Ra had a really good game as well. I mean, Jameer Gibbs had it going in the run game and the passing game. Amon Ra was fantastic. I think the Vikings, they blew this game. The one drive in particular for me was they had the ball. They got the ball with like 4 minutes in like 16 seconds in the fourth quarter. Yeah, they got the ball around the 4-minute 4:20 mark, and they had a drive where they had the lead, and they go run pass, and they punt it, and it's just kind of like if you're able to, that drive is when you have to end it. Like that's I think the plays where Sam Darnold had they got to trust him a little bit more to throw the ball in those type of situations. I mean, you just kind of have to. I mean, yeah, like on that second down, I think you gotta pass the ball there. But I mean, shout out to the Lions, man. They stuck through it.
Yeah, I have a stat. One of my stats is about that I was telling you about before the pod. One of them is about the Lions, so I'm gonna get to that. But more on the Vikings standpoint, yeah, I mean, Justin Jefferson, he had himself a nice little game. Not like
He did.
kind of like I think a lot of people expected. He's kind of been the Lions killer recently. Um, Granted, I don't think they've beaten the Lions in the last couple years. I think someone was let me look. Someone was talking to me about it, and they're like, "Bro, if you like look at the last time they beat them, yeah, they haven't beaten them in the last since September 25th, 2022." Um, but Justin Jefferson has kind of done his thing. And again, this game could have gone
Yeah.
either way if we being honest. It's not like the Lions completely went out there, took care of business, and beat them. And it's
Yeah,
not like
nah.
the Vikings went out there and just choked the game. But my stat about the Lions, I I was doing a little bit of research because I personally think, and I know you might call me crazy. Go ahead and call me crazy. I think the Lions probably might be the best team as of right now in football.
Yep.
I just they're so complete, and it's like Goff is just he's playing the system so perfect, and Monty and Gibbs are perfect. I don't know if you heard. I think you did. I think I saw something about it on your Instagram. Jameson Williams is suspended for the next 2 games. I'm kind of interested to see
Timmy
how.
B.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that kind of see if that affects him at all. I don't think it will. I think the offense will keep rolling. But my stat, the Lions in the last 4 games have more touchdowns than incompletions. Against the Vikings,
What?
Goff had 3 incompletions and they scored 4 touchdowns. I'm not talking about Goff threw 4. I'm saying the whole team themselves. Okay, they scored 4 touchdowns. All right. Against the Cowboys, Goff had 7 incompletions and they had 5 touchdowns. Against the Seahawks, they had 0 incompletions. Goff went 18 for 18 and they had 6 touchdowns. And then against the Cardinals, they had 5 incompletions and 3 touchdowns. So in the last 4 games, Goff has thrown 15 incompletions and they have 18 touchdowns. So they have more touchdowns than they do incompletions in the last 4 games. I think that's crazy. This offense
That is
is rolling.
insane. That is nuts, bro.
Offense is
That's
rolling. It's
bro.
like I
That
didn't even look at the
that
5th game.
bro.
15
What?
incompletions and 18 touchdowns. They had 3, 7, 0, and 5 incompletions in the last 4 games, and then in the last 4 games in those same games, 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 18 touchdowns combined, 15 incompletions combined. So they have 3 more touchdowns than incompletions in the last 4 games. That's insane.
I don't. Bro. Oh my god. What? Bro, that's
Man,
nuts.
I told you I
I ain't
had
gonna
a
lie.
stat. I had a stat.
I
I
didn't.
got
I
one
didn't
more.
think it was like that,
I
bro.
got one
That's
more.
crazy. What? Oh, it's for another game.
Yeah, it's for the Steelers game, but
Okay.
yeah, it's dude, I thought that might have been the craziest stat I've heard in a while for them to
In a
have
while, bro. More
15.
4 games. Like what? That's crazy.
Anyway,
But yeah, I want to give a shout out. Shout out to Aaron Jones too. He played a really good game. I thought Sam Darnold played well. I don't think he played bad by any means. I thought he played really well. But yeah, man, Lions beat the Vikings. It was gonna be a really close one. These two teams are gonna meet further down the line, maybe in the postseason. But shout out just both of them for just a really good game. Yeah, just it was just a really good game all around, man. I really enjoyed it. Going on to the next game, which was really kind of a disappointment. Um, the Chiefs traveled to play the 49ers. 49ers lost this game. We're going to get into why. I know Ryan has a lot to say about the 49ers. 49 dropped to 3-4. Kansas City goes to 6. They stay undefeated at 6-0. I'll talk about the Chiefs and let Ryan go with the 49ers. Patrick Mahomes is not playing good football. I don't care what anyone says. 16 for 27, 154, 2 interceptions. Kareem Hunt, I thought, ran the ball really well and saved them. 22 carries, 78 on the ground, 2 touchdowns. I mean, Travis Kelce, 4 catches, 17 yards. Noah Gray was their leading receiver with 66 yards. Receivers wise, the leading receiver was Xavier Worthy with 19. I mean, they don't have a lot of talent in their room. Um, But I mean, all in all, Mahomes is throwing some pretty. The pick he threw trying to get that ball to Worthy was bad. That was bad. And he's got what, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I mean, he has not played well by any means. I mean, they're 6-0. And the thing is, with me saying that they are literally still undefeated, but I thought the main thing was the Chiefs' defense in this one, man. They were able to contain Purdy, make him really be off of his game. I know Ryan. I'm gonna let Ryan get into that. But shout out to Spags, man. He just continues to own Kyle Shanahan in every single way.
Let me preference with a lot of my close friends, family, and significant others are all 49er fans. Besides my dad. My dad is a Packers fan. Besides that, I do like the 49ers, but I'm just saying. I've been hearing 49ers fans talking about, oh, we lost this game because we didn't have our starting running back, CMC. Okay, cool. We lost this game because we don't have Debo or Ayuk. I heard Debo got, pneumonia?
Yeah, pneumonia, and he got fluid in his lungs.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's all right. I'm not trying to hate on anybody. I'm just saying. Ayuk tore his ACL and I think MCL as well. He's out for the season. Juwan Jennings was out. Okay, cool. Obviously, I don't know. I really don't know his injury. I don't know the extent of his injury as well. Cool. So really, your top target was what? George Kittle, your starting tight end.
Yeah. Kittle, Ricky Pearsall,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the next guy was like either Ronnie Bell or Jacob Cowing.
Okay, cool. So I've been hearing a
Jordan
lot of
Mason still played though.
yeah, I've been hearing a lot of 49ers fans talking about that's why they lost the game. They didn't have their three starting receivers and they didn't have their starting running back. Chiefs lost Pacheco. Chiefs lost Rasheed Rice. Chiefs lost Hollywood Brown, and Chiefs lost Juju. Those are their three starting receivers. If you want to consider Juju or Xavier Worthy, whatever, I really don't care. They lost three of their receivers, and they lost their starting running back. I'm not saying Pacheco is as good as CMC. I'm not saying these receivers are as good as the 49ers receivers. I'm just saying they were playing on pretty even playing grounds where they both had their star tight end. They both had a backup running back who's kind of stepped into their own. Kareem Hunt's been playing solid. Jordan Mason's been playing solid. This game really came down to, in my opinion, Mahomes and Purdy, the play of both of them. And, yeah, I just think, I don't know, Mahomes didn't play great. Purdy didn't play great. I was hearing a lot in the offseason about Ayuk and a lot of people talking trash about this man, talking about the only reason he is good is because of the 49ers system and that Pacheco, Kyle Shanahan could get my damn grandma open on a couple routes. I was hearing all this stuff about how you can just plug and play anybody, and that's why they drafted Ricky. And Ricky was going to take over Ayuk's role, and they were cool with Ayuk going and leaving and cool whatever. It's like, if he is that amazingly great and like anybody can play this Ayuk role and anybody could be Debo and anybody could do anything and it's just like, okay, then why didn't they? If Ricky played, granted, I understand this is his first game back and I'm not trying to give Ricky a hard time. I'm not trying to give Ayuk a hard time or anybody. I'm just saying, if all I heard all off season was it was that easy for Shanahan to draw people open and for Ricky to step into this Ayuk role. I mean, we're gonna see with Ayuk being out. We're gonna see if they can step into this role and somebody can take over that true number one receiver that Ayuk was. But yeah, dude, this team is, the defense was playing all right. I know you saw that play where Mahomes trucked Malik Mustafa. Bro, that shit got me so hyped
Yeah, I
watching
don't know
that.
what's going on with San Francisco, man.
Bro, that got me so hyped watching that. And again, I was rooting for the 49ers. I wanted them to win. Bro, that got me so hyped. I was like, ain't no way you just
Yeah,
let
nah.
Mahomes truck you like that. But
Yeah, no, I thought it was crazy when he did the juke move out of bounds and then he goes back and trucks Mustafa. It was crazy. But to go on your point, all Purdy's interceptions was on KC side of the field. Um, they lost this game because of Brock. I mean, like I said, they were in KC's territory every time he threw the pick. His picks were bad. Like they were awful. They were like, whoa, okay. Haven't seen that before, Brock. What the fuck? Like, I mean, did you see the one? First of all, the last one he threw at the goal line was like,
well,
bro,
I think a defender tipped the ball a little bit. So I really don't blame him too much a crazy amount. I
Well, no,
think I think he got a
well,
hand on it.
no, he did, but like even Brady was like, even if he didn't, like, what are you
Yeah,
seeing?
why are you making that decision right then and there? Yeah.
Yeah, it was still like double coverage, and then the one he threw to where I think Reed picked it out of bounds, he completely sailed it and didn't fully sail it. Like look like it was bad. And the first interception was bad. I don't know what he was seeing. Like I don't know, man. I mean, it seems like man, Kyle Shanahan, he's still getting them in good spots. Like it's not like I mean, Brock just got to make a couple throws. Like if not, man, field goal range, something, bro. Like you still put up 18. They should have won this game. They were in positions. If on two of the drives, if those drives go for touchdowns instead of picks, we're talking about a Niners win here. Like the Niners are winning this game, and it's just very, like it's frustrating, man, because it's like Brock just has to play better. And that's just what it is, really. Like, I think Kyle's doing a solid job. I just think Brock, you cannot like turn the ball over like that. And I mean, he had a really clean game last week against Seattle. Um, but then you just go look at all these other games, man. The turnovers are contagious. And it's like, and I don't know what he was looking at, but the Niners are 3-4 with all the injuries they have. Looking at their schedule for the next few games, the Cowboys, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Packers, Bills. Those are their next 5 games. It's really rough. You got the Cowboys at home, which on prime time, I don't know how that's gonna go. Um 49ers might win that one, but you don't really know for sure. They got the Bucks and Tampa, they got Seattle, and then at Green Bay and at Buffalo. So you have no Ayuk. I don't know when they're saying CMC may be coming back way later, like week 11-ish, maybe. And that was a maybe. Um Debo's gonna be out now indefinitely. So I'm looking at it right now, man, and oof, like I don't know where the Niners kind of. I mean, they're gonna have to really thug it out. But I heard they're trying to trade for Cortland Sutton. So if you want Cortland Sutton, man, hey, be my guest because he's not gonna do shit for you. I'll be completely honest. He's not gonna do a goddamn thing. But I mean, hey, look, yeah, go ahead. We'll take a third round pick for him. But yeah, I think the Niners, man, these next 5 games are gonna tell how their season is gonna go for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I can't lie. I thought Purdy had been playing like this season, especially with like his circumstances of like Ayuk not really getting there all the way.
Yeah,
Um, like I mean, like Kittle's 100% stepped up, and he's really been the Kittle and Mason have really kind of been the shining
yeah,
stars of this offense a little bit. But I mean, even in general, like I didn't really think Purdy had been playing like really like trash. Like you could kind of see sometimes with his anticipation, like it's gotten a lot better this season. Where like especially against the Seahawks, there was one throw where like, and I think they were even talking about it on air where the guy wasn't even at his spot yet, and Purdy threw it straight to him, and it was like in stride, perfect completion, and it was like a first down. Like I do really think Purdy is good, and like,
yeah. No, I think
but
he's good.
I really think like they're 100% missing CMC, and I mean I get it. He's one of the best, if not, if you want to argue, whatever, the best player in the NFL. Um, and like he's definitely like that check down, like almost Purdy's like security blanket that like Mason really isn't. Mason really isn't a receiving back. Um, but CMC is like he obviously can do both, and they're obviously missing him a lot. But dude, it's just eventually it is like you have all these pieces, and that you have these expectations, and I kind of wonder if these expectations of we're supposed to be the best team in football, because before the season started, everybody had them as the best team in football. The roster looked the best on paper. Everything looked great. You got Ayuk back. You got Trent Williams back. Everybody was healthy, and then out of nowhere, CMC hurt, not playing first game of the season. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. And then now you're dealing with all these injuries, and then also with the defense, you can tell they're really missing Greenlaw. Like he was like the bully of that defense. Like he was really
Yeah,
that enforcer. And it's like I'm not saying like it's gonna be like he's gonna take it from like a great defense to elite. Cause I don't think they're playing the greatest of defense, but they're also not
It's
playing
not
bad.
bad though.
No, it's not bad at all. And it's like I don't know. I just really think one they're missing him and they're missing CMC, but that's obvious. Like you're missing your second best linebacker and the best player in your team, obviously. But it's really
Facts.
showing. But
Yeah. But yeah, I last thing I'm gonna say, and we can move on. Purdy hasn't been playing bad by any means this year. It's just this game and then these next five are gonna really show a lot for him. Um, I mean, just gonna show how he is because this is his biggest test for sure, for sure. Going to the next game, yes, Sunday night football game, Lord Jesus. The Pittsburgh Steelers destroyed the Jets in the second half. They go to 5-2. Jets fall to 2-5. They beat them 37-15. I'll let Ryan talk about the Steelers. I'm gonna go over the Jets real quick, and he can go with the Steelers. Um, Aaron Rodgers 24 for 39, 276, a touchdown, two picks. Was only sacked once. Brees Hall just okay. I'll get my main thing for them. Um, the run game didn't look too well, but they really got Brees involved in the screen game, which I guess can count for the run game a little bit. But in terms of them handing the ball off, 54 yards on the ground. They were getting blown out for they started losing the game a little bit in the second half. But my main takeaway from this one, man, was the Jets secondary, they are where they were banged up, but Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, it's just not working how Rodgers probably thought it would. Garrett is just dropping balls. I mean, it's pretty rough. I see people saying Aaron Rodgers just not the same guy. I don't know, man. I feel like the Steelers just played a really good game. Um, yeah, I feel like they played a really good game. I think with Rodgers, the pick he threw to Beanie Bishop, the first one. I mean, you're not expecting an undrafted rookie safety to literally turn around and make an acrobatic one-handed pick. Like, I didn't think it was a bad throw by Rodgers on any parts. I just felt like he made a really damn good play on the ball. The second pick wasn't on Rodgers, but that pick, that first pick with Bishop turned the tides of this game. The Jets looked like they were in control. They were going to be in control. Steelers were struggling offensively, and then they got the turnovers, and it really started to go off. Like I said, I'm gonna let Ryan get into the Steelers. So go ahead.
man, I can't lie. I thought we were gonna lose this game before the game even started. I picked the Jets to win. I thought Devontae was about to have himself a day, especially when the first target they went after Devontae. I think the second pass of the game as well was to Devontae as well. I'm like, oh yeah, they're trying to make it a point to get him the ball, and it's obvious. I mean, I think everyone kind of expected that. But going more to the Steelers standpoint, Najee really got going. 21 carries, 102 yards. Um, Pickens had himself a nice little day too. That's that's the Pickens that you can kind of see if like, oh yeah, he's an elite guy, and but I don't know. Like I liked Russ. I liked some of the stuff I saw from him, but like other stuff I really wish that we had Fields in the game for. Um, that
Fields would have won this game.
yeah. I mean, he definitely would have won this game. Um, I just wish that we could almost like merge both of them into one quarterback, and like, cause like there were a couple of plays like we were in the red zone. I think it was second or third down, and Russ was rolling to his left, and I think he just threw the ball away or whatever. But there was like a wide open rushing lane, and it's like if that was Fields, that was a rushing touchdown. Like we saw that last week against the Raiders, where it was almost damn near the same play, and I think it was right before the half, and Fields rolled out to his left and just ran it in for a touchdown. Um, but I don't know. I mean, we were texting about this during the game about that deep ball to Pickens on the sideline where he caught that one handed, and you were like, uh, man, you're gonna fall in love with that, and then it's just gonna be a field goal. He'll get you all the way down the field, and then field goal, field goal, field goal, field goal, and it's like that's kind of, I mean, that's how the game kind of started. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that
I
second
mean,
half we really took over.
yeah, once the takeaways started happening, they got really good field position, was able to capitalize off a lot of it. But I mean, I thought y'all played really good game. I like Fryermuth. I like what Pickens played. I like how y'all ran the ball. I thought the defense played really well. I think Russ had a solid game. I'm not gonna sit here and just say the man played terrible. But I've seen this before, man. I mean, Russ didn't even really make any, like, to me, any plays that stood out and was like, okay, this is why this move was worth it. I thought a lot of the big plays they had was 50-50 balls with the receivers making absolutely insane plays on the ball. Pickens one hand, the Pickens juggle, the fire with one hand. Um, I am really worried for Russell Wilson this game against the Giants. I really am. That defensive line is ferocious. I really want to see how he's gonna move in a pocket like that. I really want to see. But I think the defense is top two. I mean, Beanie Bitch. I mean, these guys are all over the place. But yeah, man, just talk about Russ. That's pretty much it. I know how it's going to go. It looks so good right now. It looks good. It's looking like we got the guy. But I'm telling you, I've seen this story before. Cortland Sutton had games like this last year where Russ just throws it up to him and he makes a miraculous catch, 50-50 ball. And you get down in that red zone, and that's when your quarterback, that's when you know you have a good quarterback, when you get down in the red zone and you can put up those points. You can capitalize. And I'm sorry, man. And not to mention the Jets had a really banged up secondary. Like Sauce got hurt in this game. I know I don't think DJ Reed played, but yeah, he's out. But they're down to Jalen Mills and that. I think Ashton Davis wasn't even playing. Like they're down, they're Isaiah Oliver, like they're Kendall Sheffield, like they're down to, like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, we'll see next game, man. I just know. I know Russ, bro. Like I know how this is gonna go for y'all. And it's gonna take longer because he had this really good game, but you have the Giants, Commanders, and the Ravens next. It's gonna get really ugly, those Browns, Bengals, Browns. That's when it's gonna start to get ugly. But if he's still the quarterback by then, but we'll see.
Yeah, I kind of think this game kind of more says something about the Jets' struggles more so than the Steelers' success. I just don't think the Jets'
Yeah.
defense really played great, especially in that second half. I do want to obviously give credit to Russ. Like, I definitely think he opened up the passing game way more, obviously, to Pickens than really anything. And then when the passing game kind of got going a little bit, Najee could kind of get going a little bit. Um, I mean, even Jalen Warren as well. He's tried almost 50 yards. But some of the passes, at least in my opinion, especially that one touchdown and then that one like juggling catch by Pickens, it wasn't like a great ball. Like Pickens had to reach back over his helmet damn near and catch the ball, and then it's like on the juggling pass. I think the ball hit the guy's helmet. It's like more so on that touchdown, like him having to reach back and almost literally catch it over the guy instead of like leading him. I don't know. Like that's something that kind of stood out to me. But again, I do want to give credit to him and
Yeah, no, I'm gonna
give
give you
credit to that defense. Peyton Wilson, the rookie's a dog. Deshaun Elliott might be the best free agency pickup that we've gotten this year.
I can't
He's
believe Dolphins let him just walk.
dude, he's balling right now. And Beanie Bishop, like you said, and I mean TJ didn't even really have a great game. Granted, they were doubling him damn near every
Yeah.
play. Um, but yeah, I mean, shout out to my team, shout out to my squad. We about to go win the Super Bowl.
Okay, bro. Meanwhile, going on to a team that most likely might be going to Super Bowl. The Ravens travel to Tampa and get the win. They go to 5-2. Tampa drops to 4-3. They win this game 41-31. My main takeaway, man. Lamar Jackson. I mean, what else can we say? Top two quarterback in the league. So far, he's most likely probably going to win MVP. I mean, 17 for 22, 281, 5 touchdowns, perfect passer rating, QBR 91. Derrick Henry had 170 on the ground. Bateman was their leading guy. He had a buck 21 on the day and a touchdown. I mean, first of all, let's talk about that throw from Lamar Jackson. Whoever said that man has no deep ball is absolutely insane. Um, I mean, it's an absolute, like, what Lamar Jackson does. Remember, I told you this. Remember when they started off 0-2? They won five straight. Five straight. Lamar Jackson, and we talked about their next 5 games being really rough. Um, the Cowboys, Bills, Bengals, Commanders, Bucks won them all, and won them all in very convincing fashion. I mean, it was The Bengals one was close, but that was the only one that was close to me. Like Lamar Jackson, I mean, he's probably gonna win another MVP. Um, I think they just need that. They need another receiver. That's the only thing I think this team is missing. The defense is starting to click it. The defense still concerns me a bit. It does still concern me a bit. I feel like they're giving up way too many points. But Lamar has shown like, well, look, that's just more opportunities for me to just go off. You see what I'm saying? Like he just like I love these shootouts and their offense during this win streak 28, 35, 41, 30, 41. I mean, they're putting up I think they got the best offense in the league. But and that's crazy. Like, bro, they have I'm pretty sure they have the number one total offense. I have to fact check that, but like, it's absolutely insane when let me see. Yeah, they have their number one in the league in offense, and they're ahead of the Lions by 50 yards a game. Like this Ravens team, man, they can go as far as Lamar, I think, can take them, but I just still think they need that one true weapon. If they can go out and get a receiver, I think this team can really can really make not even just a deep playoff run, but they can go to the bowl, man. Because the way Kansas City is playing, this team can beat Kansas City now. Like they can beat them.
I'm gonna talk about the Ravens. I forgot my stat. Talking about the Steelers.
Oh, go ahead.
I completely forgot. The last time the Steelers scored 35 points and gained at least 400 or more yards in a regular season game was Week 10 against the Panthers in 2018. Cam Newton was their starting quarterback.
Wasn't that the game when TJ injured him?
Yeah, last game, and then the last actual game, whatever it was, that playoff game against the Browns, we had 553 yards and we lost. We had 458 and 52 points against the Panthers, and that's the last time we've had over 35 points and 400 plus yards on offense. Mm-hmm. So it's like we haven't had that type of production in 6 years. So I mean, it's ridiculous. But obviously more to the Ravens. I thought the craziest thing was Derrick Henry really didn't get going until that second half, and he still finished with 170 yards and a receiving touchdown. It's like, and dude, I'm in complete agreement with you where Lamar is 100% the MVP. I really don't think it's close.
Bro, like
he just had 5 touchdowns and played a perfect game against a Bucs defense that is not bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, like I mean, I just want to throw out another stat. When it comes to rushing, they're first in the league in rushing at 211 yards rushing a game. You want to know who's second? Philly at 166, bro. It's not even close. Like in passing, they're 6th in the league. Like it's just like, bro, like what? I mean, how can you look at Lamar Jackson and say, like, I don't understand how people hate. Like, I don't how people can discredit anything that this man does. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. He does not have people don't. He does not have a true wide receiver one. You gave him a Garrett Wilson or a Devontae Adams. Any one of those, the Jets got anybody, bro. If they go out and get a T. Higgins something in the offseason, something they need something now. Like I think they need to make a trade to get someone. I think for this team, but just shout out to Baltimore, man. They able to take care of business. We ain't even talk about the Buccaneers.
Yeah, hold, real quick more on the Ravens. We were both, like you just said, they're 6th in passing, and that's really without Mark Andrews getting going. Today was really his first game of him getting going, and that was without him even having really any true production the first month of football. Yeah. So I mean, this team is going to be scary, and I really think if that, like I think we were talking about last podcast, the pass defense for the Ravens kind of concerned me. I mean, they played pretty good today, and again, the score they won by 10. It was not a close game at all.
Yeah, Tampa had that 21-point fourth quarter, but Yeah, it wasn't close. Going on Tampa side a little bit, I think they're turning the ball over a little bit too much. We knew going into this game they weren't going to run the ball like they did against the Saints. Baltimore's got probably the best run defense in the league. They were held. Rashad White only had 40 yards. That was their leading rusher. But yeah, they were able to throw the rock a little bit. Mike Evans, did he get hurt? Yeah, he got hurt. Yeah. Had a really
Yeah,
good first
yeah.
drive.
He
Had a
messed up
touchdown.
his hamstring again. He came into the game with a hamstring injury, and you kind of see him like kind of favoring.
Grimacing.
Yeah, like not really trying to put any
Yeah.
pressure on it type thing. And then on that one play was like a go route, and the corner like dove and just hit his hamstring, and he dropped the ball, and he was out after that.
Yeah, I want to say prayers to Chris Godwin. That I mean, it looked pretty bad. They say he dislocated his ankle, but Todd Bowles is just really. I mean, why are your guys out there? You're down 10. Like, why are your guys out there? Why? Like, I don't get it. I'm not gonna put it all on him. I feel like a lot of teams in that situation would have done the same thing, have their guys out there, but we gotta be. They got teams got to start being careful with this man. But prayers go out to Chris Godwin. Um, Look like might be his last play as a Buccaneer. Moving on to the next game. Chargers, they fall to the Cardinals. Trap game. Cardinals go to 3-4. Chargers fall to 3-3. Um, I will say this: the Chargers sold this game for Justin Herbert. Who was it that fumbled that ball? Was it Josh Palmer?
Nah, it was
Was it Vital? Who was it?
nah. I made a video about it. Let me look.
Was it Rager?
Yeah. One second.
I can't remember who it
Yeah.
was.
I think it was Rager, number 89.
Yeah, Rager. Yeah, it was Rager. Um, he scores that touchdown. Chargers win this game. I think the Chargers
Hold up.
defense still played really well. James
Mm,
Conner ran the ball well,
yeah,
but they
right.
didn't really get anything going in the passing game at all. It was literally James Conner, Trey McBride. Marvin didn't really get anything going, but Kyler didn't have a good game, man. 14 for 26, 145, touchdown in the pick. But Herbert, I thought played really well. 27 for 39, 350 on the day. I mean, really carried. I mean, Will Disley, when you have Will Disley, Josh Palmer, Lad McConkey, and Fahoko, Rager, you throw for 350? Like that's nuts. Chargers should have won this game. Herbert made the play. It should have been a touchdown, or at least got him down within the 5 to go ahead and score. And then the fumble happened. But if that fumble doesn't happen, the Chargers win this game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was not paying for ESPN Plus, so I did not see this game at all. All I saw was the highlights of the game. I did see that one play by Kyler where he had that like 45-yard rushing touchdown. He turned the corner,
Mhm.
that defender missed, and he was gone. He was looking back for defenders. Like he's so quick, he's so agile, so elusive, so like and kind of like we were saying, the Cardinals, they're not like a great team, but they're a trap game. You know, James Conner, like we had said a couple episodes ago, he's a top 10 back, 20 carries, 100 yards. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, I didn't really get to watch the game, so I can't really tell you anything that really happened besides highlights.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, shout out to the Cardinals.
Yeah, and the Cardinals, they got a little favorable schedule. They got the Dolphins, Bears, and the Jets in their next 3 games. So we'll see what they can do with that. But yeah, man, before we end off the episode, Ryan, is there any questions that you got?
Yeah, I got like 3. We kind of answered a couple of them. I'm not gonna lie. Um, these more true or false questions. Uh, so true or false? 49ers do not win the NFC West.
Mm. Oh, NFC West. Right now, Seahawks are first. 49ers are third.
Yeah,
I
49ers did beat them though. 49ers got the advantage over Seattle, but the Cardinals
I
got the
think
advantage.
I think I don't know, man. I think the Niners still winning. I think the Niners find a way to win some of their games. I think their next 5 games are tough, but I don't know, man. I think whoever wins that division is gonna win that division with a nasty 9 games. Like I think the Niners might finish the season 9-8. Like or maybe they maybe get to 10 wins, but I'll say true for now.
True as you think that statement is true that they don't win the NFC West, or false?
No. Okay, so I think
False.
they
You
do
do
win
think?
it.
I
So
got you. I
false.
got you. Yeah, that was definitely a bad worded question on my end.
No,
I
you're
think
good.
I think they win as well. I think once CMC comes back, if he comes back, I think that's really the only hope for this team kind of turning around. Debo is going to be out for a couple weeks. Ayuk's out for the season. I don't know about Jennings. Hopefully Ricky can kind of step into his own. I know Kittle's got a foot injury. I just the 49ers have showed so much in these last 5-6 seasons type thing of like success that I just can't pick against them. I do think that no matter what, I was talking to one of my 49ers friends about this, that nobody wants to see them in the playoffs, even if they sneak in at that 7 seed.
Yeah,
Nobody trying to see San Francisco in the playoffs. I think as long as you get there, anything can happen. I mean, that really goes to with any team, but 100% more specifically with the 49ers, that even if they slip into that 7 seed, you do not want to have San Francisco come into your building or have to go to San Francisco. But we already kind of answered this one, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. True or false, Lamar wins his 3rd MVP?
Yeah, I think he's got it.
Yeah, same.
I think
I remember we were talking about this a couple episodes ago about how our top 3 MVP candidates, and I think we both put Lamar 1. I think you had Derrick Henry 2, and then somebody else 3, I think.
No, I think I had Henry 3,
There you
Burrow
go.
2, Lamar 1. I think.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, we're definitely, and this performance just kind of, I'm not gonna say solidified because it is week 7, you know.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it kind of definitely puts that like, all right, if he continues playing like this, he got it. This is the last question I got that I can think of. I don't really know if you got any.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I got one more question. It's not really true or false, but true or false.
Okay.
Lamar, true or false? That was the last time Deshaun will be the starting quarterback for the Browns.
Oh, true. Yeah, no, he's. I don't see them going back. Ain't no way. He tore his Achilles, man. Nah.
So what do you think the plan is?
I think they take the cap hit. I think they cut him because he's not gonna get. Nobody wants him. Nobody's gonna trade for him. I think after the year they cut him. I think the Browns tank for the rest of the year. They cut him, and they go try to get Cam Ward or whoever's gonna be the top guy in the draft, Shador, something like that.
Yeah, same. That's what I was thinking about the most. The question I was most interested to see what you were gonna say, because I wasn't sure if you'd be like, I don't know, because like for the last like year, like especially this season specifically, they like let's say Deshaun doesn't get hurt, you think they bench him at all? No, I think they roll with him.
I don't know if they would have.
No.
I would have said to, but
So it kind of
I
makes
don't
me
know.
wonder if they would just.
He's not
roll
playing
with
another
him.
game for the Browns.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he is either. I think kind of like you said, they're gonna tank a little bit, but also, I mean, man, imagine Jameis comes in there, wins him a couple games, and kind of like everything that happened with Joe Flacco last year, where granted Joe Flacco is way better of a quarterback than Jameis. No offense to Jameis, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see a different quarterback and to see how this team rallies behind that said quarterback. And I do think the Browns are gonna kind of finish a little bit stronger than most people think. I do think Deshaun was a huge problem, and especially especially in the locker room. I just don't think anybody really particularly cared for him. I know you saw a lot of people. Well, I know you probably saw like Garrett and Winston coming out after he tore his Achilles, and they were talking pretty highly of him. It's like, dude, read the room. Like, he is not the great. I'm not a great person to talk about someone being a great person or not, because I'm not a perfect person either. But like, bro, like, read the room. That's all I gotta say about it. But yeah, and then last question. I already know your answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Week 18 hits. All right, Steelers make the playoffs. Who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers if they make the playoffs?
Justin. I think Justin will have it by then. I think next week Giants lead the league in sacks, and we're gonna see Russell Wilson. I look, that's just me. I mean, it's the Giants. They can always giant and be terrible, but bro, I've seen this from Russ. Like I've seen it, and I just know for a fact one of these games you're gonna see the real Russell Wilson, and you just gonna be something you don't want. Like I think Fields shouldn't have lost his job to begin with. I feel like he could have won that game. Maybe not in the fashion in which they did, but I feel like they could have won the game still with Justin Fields. But yeah, you want to leave it off at anything else?
I think Fields should also be the quarterback. But I think Russ will. I think they'll roll with him. I think we'll probably go into New York and we'll win. Or it's on Monday night. It's on Monday night. I think we'll win. We go into a bye week, and I think that was the whole plan of like start Russ for the next 2 games just to see what you have. I think we're gonna win. It might not look perfect. It might not look great, but I think we'll win, and then we're gonna just roll with Russ. I do think Fields is the better option, but also I'm not in the building, so I can't really see what. Just from my eyes of like what I'm seeing from what I saw from the game like today or Sunday compared to what I saw from Fields. I just like I like the way the offense looked with Fields. I thought a lot of the plays that Russ had made were just kind of iffy.
50-50. 50-50.
Yeah, that's like it's
exactly.
like man, when it's 50-50 and Pickens is coming down with all those balls, it looks great. But when it's 50-50 and he's not coming down with those balls, it really relies on Pickens coming down with those balls. And also, last thing, and then that's all I got to say about this. Man, what's up with Russ throwing the number 14s? DK, Sutton,
Feel me, bro?
Pickens,
Yes, those 50-50 guys. I'm telling you,
and they all going crazy, all number 14. I was watching the game, and somebody DM'd me. They were like, "Bro, you should make a video about them throwing it to nothing, but him throwing it to 14s." I was like, "Man, that would be a fire video. I can't lie." But that's all I gotta say.
But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for it. I do want to leave on one thing. Broncos are 4-3. They're currently the 7th seed in the AFC. So if the season ended today, we'd be a playoff team.
Where the Steelers at?
5.
So who would we play?
Y'all play Buffalo. We would have the Texans.
Hold up. How are we 5? Wouldn't we be 1? Wouldn't we be?
Baltimore's 5-2.
Are they leading the division? Oh, that's right.
They
beat the Bengals. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
They have a better.
Because we haven't played a divisional game yet.
Yeah, I haven't played a divisional game. They're 1-0.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's gonna do it for this episode, man. Make sure to leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for showing love once again. But yeah, we're gonna try to get probably the next episode is gonna be our predictions for this week. But yeah, until the next one, peace out, guys.